hours, how much are they getting back? Anybody have an idea how much they might get back in terms of the number of hours it takes to make the things they can consume with the wages they get at the end of those 40 hours work week? A fraction of it. They get back about 1,000, okay, so or even less of that 4,000, okay? That means each worker, there's 100 workers, so they're getting back like, each worker's getting back like 10 hours, okay? Where are the other 3,000 work hours going to? Well, it's basically being used in various ways, but mostly it's being used to sustain the system. So what I want, one of the big messages I want to say is that in order to change the United States, we have a huge task in front of us, which defending the United States' Constitution without calling into question and actually without changing the root of profits in that Constitution is a contradiction. It's just simply not going to work. You're going out to the population with your own contradiction, and it's not going to succeed. So that's my point number one. But point number two is that Bob Bowman makes a very, I think, exceedingly careless. This guy's probably older than I am. I mean, he's a huge amount of experience that I have. He's a commander and this and that. He's a colonel. But I'm sorry, okay? I mean, he says it point blank. This reference to racism. Racism has nothing to do with political philosophy. It's an unfortunate result of slavery and its aftermaths and will disappear eventually. I mean, the Islamophobia that's coming ever since, I mean, it came before 9/11, but it's particularly after 9/11 has nothing to do with slavery, okay? And it is racism, and it has roots, okay? I think in this room, everybody should know that, okay? So racism is ongoing. It's not something that will disappear, and it's certainly not focused only around the black population in the United States, okay? So I thought I should make that point. Now, another thing he says, which disturbs me, is that, remember, he was in the military. He likes to talk about the fact he had 101 missions over Vietnam. If I did 101 missions over Vietnam, I would be apologizing, but he seems to like to tell you that he had 101 missions over Vietnam. But anyway, and maybe he does apologize, I don't know, but the video I heard of him, he just says, you know, like, this is a calling card. But anyway, so he refers to our national security, okay? And I think we have to get away from repeating that phrase about defending our national security, because that's exactly what the administration does anyway. They always talk about defending our national security, okay? What would it really take to have a reasonable level of defense? Or, and let me put it another way, who are we really expecting to attack the United States? I mean, really, who are we really expecting to attack the United States? Suppose you had the military being funded at 5% of the current level, okay? And in the U.S., military expenditures, and I've got a link to the amounts of expenditures in the United States compared to other countries. I mean, the level is astronomically greater than any other country together, and a whole bunch of combined other countries in the world. I mean, it is huge. Okay, so let's reduce it to 95%, have 5% left. Okay, what do you think is going to happen? What do you really think is going to happen? Okay, I don't think much is going to happen. Okay, I don't think Russia's going to. I don't think China's going to come over and attack us. Okay, so I think most of that military is for foreign aggression. Okay, and to keep our own population in order. Okay, and it has again the same. How many more minutes? 3 more minutes. Okay, and it has the same roots. The roots are that there's huge profits in the military industry. So I'm concerned when we talk about, well, our national security, as if we got a real problem with our national security. I mean, the United States is a country which probably has one of the least problems of its national security. So we should be talking in the opposite direction to talking about national security. And that then addresses the point that he says elsewhere, that we do not like spend and borrow governments, because if you reduce the military expenditures to, let's say, 80% of where it is now, okay, you have 80% down, so 20% of what it is now, you'd have a huge budget surplus which you could use for all these programs that are being talked about. And yet, almost never in the United States, even among us, do we make a huge hit on the military budget. And I think we have to make a huge hit on the military budget in the context of our discussion. The last thing is more subtle. The last point I'm making here is this issue about truth. Of course, I'm struggling, and all of us are struggling for truth, okay? But, I mean, Obama has his truth. He says point blank that Al-Qaeda did 9/11, okay? So, it's not so easy just to say we're a truth party, as if we have it and the other guys don't, okay? It's actually a gradation of things, and you never get to some kind of absolute truth. It's hard for me to sort of convey, but I'll just come back to what I said originally, is truth is not gold that you can just touch, okay? So if I could stop here, then I could maybe take one question.
Okay, we have one question. But it has to be really a good question. And the audience is completely dumbfounded, confused. And, okay. Thank you, Dr. Zarembka. All right.
I have a question.
Okay, wait. Lenny had his hand up first.
How do you assess the aversion to the class analysis of the American empire as having been behind 9/11? I mean, how do we associate 9/11 as perpetrated by the last vestige of the U.S. empire, and why is there such an aversion within the 9/11 truth movement to the comprehension of that, to the apprehension and comprehension of that?
Of what? Of what?
Well,
of the class issue?
Of the discussion about the of 9/11 as manifesting the class interests of the empire.
I don't know.
Right, Dave can take it. Go to Dave.
We're out of time for Mr. Zarembka. Thank you, Paul. And put your hands together, Paul Zarembka. Thank you. We'd like your question to be submitted in writing. All right.